The National Christian Center Abuja, in the nation's federal capital city, was the venue for the solemnization of the holy matrimony between Vera Obiageli Anunobi, daughter of Bishop and Reverend Mrs. Anunobi of the New Birth Ministries, and Franklin Obinna Ohakim, the son of former governor of Imo State Chief Ikedi Ohakim, and his wife, Lady Barrister Chioma Ohakim. Friends, family members, and well-wishers of both families from diverse locations around the country and beyond honored them at this special day. The entry of the bride's father, Bishop Francis Anunobi, and his daughter into the church marked the formal commencement of the church service as the choir and entire congregation engaged in singing. The church service had in attendance dignitaries from all spheres of importance across the land, at the apex of which was President Goodluck Jonathan, who was represented by his Chief of Staff, Chief Michael Ogiadome. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, Chairman, PDP Board of Trustees, Chief Tony Aneni, former President of the Senate, Senator Adolphus Wabara, Governors Theodore Orji of Abia State and Gabriel Suswan of Benue State were also there. Politicians from the different divides set aside their differences, albeit temporarily, for the sake of love for humanity, which the age-long sacred institution of marriage had epitomized since creation. Also at the church service were highly placed government functionaries. The leading lights in the corporate and business community also registered a presence. As the couple, Franklin Obinna Ohakim and Vera Obiageli Anunobi, took their positions to exchange marital vows and wedding rings, it's pertinent to state that what would be would inevitably manifest at the appointed spiritually ordained time. The bride, obviously a Lagos bred and buttered, whom the groom proposed to on his birthday, has 7 siblings, 6 brothers and 1 sister. She attended Vivian Fowler Memorial College, Lagos, read law at the University of Lagos, and was called to the Nigerian Bar in 2011. She now works at the legal department of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON. Franklin Ohakim is a UK-trained IT expert currently running his father's company. The traditional marriage of Obinna and Obiageli took place on the 28th of December last year at Onuza, Nkwere, Imo State, where the bride comes from. With the exchange of marital vows and wedding rings, the couple took a giant step to signing a lifetime contract that will bind them together until death does them part. The sermon was preached by the Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, the Archbishop Metropolitan and Primate of All Nigeria Church Anglican Communion. In the word, Reverend Nicholas Oko advised the couple to see God as the head of their home, and therefore they should respect one of his sacred commandments as regards marriage, which is to love and respect each other. He then prayed for them.
I want to plead with you, obey God. Let Jesus be part of it from this earliest beginning. None of you should be so powerful that Jesus becomes a just ordinary reference in the liturgy of the church. He should be master of the house. That the husband will obey, that the wife will obey. When you do so, miracles will happen. The first miracle that will happen is that 2 of you will be fusing together. You come together, you become one without you realizing it.
As a couple, their parents and sponsors of the marriage, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Emeka Ikedi and wife, and the clergy went for the signing of the marriage register. The choir and congregation engaged in further singing. The high point of the church service was a Thanksgiving session, which saw the couple, their parents, and other well-wishers rejoicing with the Ohakims and Anunobis. The video and photo session, which properly captured the mood of the couple, their parents, friends, and family members as they posed for photographs, formally brought the church service for the Obinna and Obiageli Ohakim wedding to a close. From the heavy turnout of guests, made up in the main by politicians, who attended the reception of the wedding of the son of former Governor Ikedi Ohakim of Imo State and his lovely wife, Lady Barrister Chioma Ohakim, which totally overwhelmed the capacity of the International Conference Center Abuja, venue of the top-flight event. It would be right to say that both in and out of power, the Ohakim's goodwill, built over the years, is like a magnet that still attracts their friends from every corner of the globe. This also speaks to the fact that when the Ohakims were privileged to be in power in Imo State, they did their best. Given the Nigerian factor, where once out of power, one is also considered at reckoning. The Ohakims have really done well to have brought together a kind of audience that honored them on that special day. The governors, who are a very important factor in Nigeria's political equation, proved that the much talked about and camaraderie that had always existed among them is one in perpetuity, as it rallied a huge support for one another. From Akwa Ibom State, Abia, and Katsina states, they all stood behind a colleague of theirs, while former governors Danjuma Goje of State and Ali of Zamfara State were also joined. Southeast of Nigeria, Chief Jim Nwobo, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator Pius Ayin Pius, Senator Matthew Uwago represented Senate President David Mark. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Emeka Ikedi, and his wife, who are the sponsors of the wedding, were joined by Honorable Bethel Amadi and wife, and a very high-powered delegation of monarchs from different parts of the country. From Ile-Ife, the source, the Sultan of Sokoto, was also represented. From Imo State and other parts of the southeast, the traditional institution stood up to be counted in support of the Ohakims and the Anunobis in this off-the-hook wedding. His Royal Majesty Eze Dr. Cletus Ikechukwu Ilomoya CON Obi of Obinogu, the Chairman of Imo State Traditional Rulers Council, Chairman Southeast Traditional Rulers Council, and Vice Chairman South and Southeast Traditional Rulers Council, was accompanied by his wife, was also there to give the much-needed solidarity and support to Chief Ikedi Ohakim, one of the illustrious sons of Imo State, of whom all Imolites have always been pleased and very proud. For the sake of friendship and good relationship that existed and still exists between the Bisi Olatila Shehu and former Governor Ikedi Ohakim, I also break my trip to Rome, Italy, to serve as a compere at the event. And as I speak, the Bisi Olatila Show covered the event for the television aspect, which you're watching, by the way, and the BOS International Magazine comes up with a bumper package on it. As the bridal train of the couple, Obinna and Obiageli Ohakim, glided majestically into the arena, what caught my attention was the most geopolitically balanced nature of the young men and women who constituted the bridal train. For instance, the bride's chief's bridesmaid is Segilola Akintela, a Lagosian. The bridal train also had other names like Ariola Ajose, Umar Mantu, son of former Deputy Senate President Ibrahim Mantu, Bayo Shonubi, Efe Domingo from Edo State, and so on. It's very interesting to note that right from their infancy in the marriage institution, the young Ohakim family has already begun to work towards building a strong united Nigeria, where we're all one, no matter our differences in tongue and tribe. After the wedding had been properly put right in the traditional sense of the word through the breaking of the kola nut, a very vital aspect of any Igbo event.
He locates his father, Obine Oji, Onamata Ohaneze, Your Excellency Dr. Ikedi Ohakim.
The Council of Traditional Rulers, Chairman, Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers, Vice Chairman, Southeast South Council of Traditional Rulers. I salute you, My Majesty.
It was time for the chairman's welcome address. In it, Governor Gabriel Suswan of Benue State congratulated the couple and their parents for the special day in their lives. This will signify the beginning of a better thing for both families.
For somebody who have been out of office for this long, to be able to pull this cream of the society speaks volumes of what Ohakim represent to the Nigerian people. And I believe that our own son, who is married today with his lovely wife, is a chip of the block. I see the way he walks like his father. So I believe I say Ohakim is his son. I also happen to sit very close to the families of the bride, and I saw in the father and the mother, and I'm told that he's a bishop. This wedding is actually made from heaven.
The catching of the wedding cake was conducted by Katsina State Governor Barrister Ibrahim Shehu Sherma, with special dignitaries who served as observers in attendance. Governor Godswill Akpabio of Akwa Ibom State, who was originally billed to be chairman of the event, demonstrated true spirit of friendship with the Ohakims by defying the odds, this time the inclement weather that almost aborted his flight from Uyo to Lagos, to register his presence at the wedding of the son of someone he calls a friend and a colleague for life. He gave the couple some pieces of advice that can make the union work, drawing from his own experience in the marriage institution.
This advice is actually for you, because you know it's almost a man's war. So throw away all the old complimentary cards you have. Then drop your phone, and as much as possible reduce the number of friends who are yet to get married. Try to, yes, advise, encourage your friends to get married. Reduce the number of married friends that come to your house. That's very young. It's important because when they see that, oh, you no longer belong, they say birds of the same feather flock together. You have to move with married people now. So when they see that your life has changed and you are no longer moving with them, they will also rush to get married.
The bride, Vera Obiageli, took on her father, Bishop Francis Anunobi of New Birth Ministries, while the groom, Franklin Obinna Ohakim, settled for his sweet mother when it was dancing time. The toast of the couple was proposed by Umaru Mantu, son of former Senate Deputy President Ibrahim Mantu, who was a very long-standing friend of the groom. He asked everyone to rise and toast to the couple.
May God give you guys all the things you want. And as the chairman of the occasion said, please in 9 months' time give us something to celebrate for. Give us joy, success, and a prosperous married life. Amen.
The throwing of the bouquet of flowers by the bride in response to the toast by the groom, Franklin Ohakim, culminated in the final dancing session. And here, former Governor Ikedi Ohakim and wife, and a huge crowd of Imo women and other well-wishers dug it out with the couple as Mr. DJ pumped up the volume, dropping high-voltage music that jazzed up the entire environment. Memories will indeed be made of the carnival-like all-star wedding of Franklin Ohakim and Vera Obiageli Anunobi, daughter of Bishop Francis Anunobi from Nkwere in Imo State of Nigeria. With the unprecedented turnout of men and women from different callings in life witnessed at that event, if there's any shred of doubt in their minds as to their continued relevance in the politics of the southeast of Nigeria and near Nigeria, former Governor Ikedi Ohakim and wife Lady Barrister Chioma Ohakim have the reaffirmation with the scenario that played out at the wedding of their son that the Ohakims have come to stay forever in the minds of all those whose paths they have crossed in life, especially in their 4-year sojourn as the first family of Imo State between 2007 and 2011.